Hi, girlies. Welcome to Book Please Podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
We are so especially excited to be here with you today. I know it's not our usual drop day, but we wanted to do a little weekend edition to do a giveaway as we start our next book, A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Please make sure to subscribe if you're watching and also like and comment on this to be entered into the giveaway.
Yes, and you can find the details in the comment section or in the description section rather below. So you can see all the rules and make sure you're entered in our giveaway. We'll be giving away a $25 Amazon gift card alongside a copy of our next read.
Good luck, everyone.
Also, before we get started about our book this week, Amanda, how are you doing? How's everything? It's been a little long.
Say, your lashes look great. I can tell you just got them done.
I did get them done. You know what's crazy though? I sit there. I feel like I haven't been doing them that long, and I just don't know. What do you think about when you're there? Like my eyes are taped down. I'm so vulnerable. Anything could happen. Are you ever just like, what is going on while my eyes are taped down in this room right now?
I'm more of a like, why do I do this to myself? Because I feel like I've been sitting here or laying here for like 3 hours.
The first time I got my lashes done, and like when you get a new set, it takes the longest because they're starting from nothing, not just filling them. And I was sitting there and she was like, oh, it's going to be about 2 hours, maybe a little longer. And I swear, like you have no idea what's going on while your eyes are taped down. So you like convince yourself what time it is or how much time has passed or what step she's on. You're like, oh, this feels like whatever she's doing feels like the end. Like you just convince yourself. And I remember when the first time I did it, I was like, eyes taped down, like my palms were sweaty because I was like having anxiety. And I'm like, what's going on? And I knew like 5 hours had passed at that point. And then I just started to convince myself like, well, oh my God, I have to pee. Oh my God, I have to get up. Oh my God, this. And I'm like, okay, I have to say something. She doesn't tell you. Like there should be a rule in lashes where they're like, you have 30 minutes left. This is the 1 hour mark.
That'd be great.
Like I need her to like give me or like a little like just like a little bell or something that lets you know every 30 minutes. So I know I have no gauge of time. I had convinced myself so like much that it was like almost 10 and I was like, oh my God, I have to go. And I remember her, I'm like, okay, it's 4 hours in, like it's done. And I remember saying to her like, hey, I'm so sorry. I have to go to the bathroom. Like just wondering how much longer I have.
Oh, wait. Then you go to the bathroom and you're like, wait, I'm not even halfway done.
She goes, 1 hour left. Exactly. She was like, 1 hour. I thought she was going to say 5 minutes. I thought she was going to say, oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. Like, no, not at all.
It's worth it though. I feel like when you look in the mirror after they're done, you're like, oh, so worth the wait. So worth falling asleep and doing this.
I know. But like sometimes I'm like praying to Jesus when I'm taped down like that. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm so antsy and I'm always apologizing.
Oh, at least the music's good.
Yeah, the
play
music
some fire music.
is pretty good. And thank God we're like safe in there because honestly, like you're in your most vulnerable state.
Mm-hmm. And then it's funny too, because I used to go to a different place before I started going to our girl. And I feel like the person would like stop working on me and talk to other people. And I'm like, no. I need you to keep moving, and then I feel like I'm there all day.
I would raise hell. Could you have, oh my God. There's been like 1 or 2 times where I've noticed that my lash girl has been texting, maybe even just like a quick, like for her next client or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm literally like seething. I'm like, bitch, get it together. Like get back in, get back right
I'm
back
passive
in.
aggressive. I'll start like touching myself or like opening my eyes if like, I feel like
Yes,
it's been a little
I do that too. I try to signal her like passive aggressively when I'm getting antsy. Like I'll be like, or I'll start like moving around. Like, bitch, we gotta go. Wrap it up. Let's go. Gotta go.
We love you.
We love you, Sue. Honestly, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Did you see that meme that was like, what if while your eyes are taped down, your lash check just starts beating you up?
I'm like, make sure you tip good. Make sure you tip good.
Honestly, it's so crazy what we do in this world, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to stop. You know what I thought was funny? You pointed out this headline from E! News, and I had the exact same thought as you. And I figured we could talk about it because it's really getting so dramatic in these streets.
Yeah, E! News, I just want to say, I don't know if you guys have too many people working for you and they just pick stories out of nowhere, but it's always ridiculous. Like I Facebook, it just gets me. I'm just like, I bet you E! News posted this. I'm like, of course, irrelevant.
Yeah, like the headlines are really getting so bad, and it's like they can't find anything to talk about.
Hmm. Yeah.
I have seen things that are just like, click here to see like their new outfit or like hair color or whatever. And it's like they just posted it on Instagram and you're making this whole ass story. Like it's so extra. But what the headline that I was talking about was Brittany Mahomes appears makeup free as she holds both kids in sweet photo. She posted a photo without makeup on.
I just can't.
I want to stab myself in the eye that that's a headline.
Hmm. I saw one that it was Tate McRae, who's like a singer, that she was a backup dancer for Justin Bieber. And it's like, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, no, that's really crazy. The Britney one though, like her posting a photo without like, oh, she appears makeup free with her kids. Are you kidding me? What is this world coming to? So this reminds me of when we had talked about in a previous episode about Pamela Anderson going makeup free. And I think it was like at a fashion award show and she's been doing it like on magazine covers. I think that's a little bit different. And I love like the statement and the things it represents because it's like you're going to events and doing things that typically people are glammed out just to the nines for. And that makes a little bit more sense. And then there was a whole reason behind it because her makeup artist died and like she like pays homage to her by saying like she does her best work and she doesn't need, there's no one else that can replace her. Fine. There's a whole story there. Brittany Mahomes posting a picture with her kids without makeup on.
Very human. Who cares?
I mean, I make the news every morning when I wake up then. Like, what is going on?
You know what? For the next episode, maybe I won't do makeup for you guys.
Oh my God. And we
Start
need
the
to
trend.
put the headline like makeup free co-host.
How dare she? E! News, please tag me.
If we get 200 subscribers, we'll do a makeup free episode for y'all because
Oh,
it's
I like
just
that
so
better.
important to the
It's so
world.
important. And then I feel like we made it. We're relevant.
I know. We're with the times. Like, honestly. The other headline that we must discuss, which is just wild and crazy, is about those conjoined twins, Abby Hensel. And what is her sister's name? Brittany.
Brittany, I have
Yes.
so many questions about that. Like, so many. Like, first, I want to know, like, obviously, one got
Okay.
married, right?
Yes. So they're conjoined twins.
Mhm.
They have they each have their own like head, and like one controls the left side of the body, the other controls the right side of the body, but they each have like one arm on each side, two legs. Like it's not, so they each share their pelvic region,
Mhm.
everything from like, I guess like the chest down, I would say. It's just like their heads come out and they each control one side of their body. So like
Yes.
the body part is kind of normal.
Mhm.
And then, they just like split. And it's interesting because they have different personalities and
Yep.
I'll show a picture if we can see it. If not, I'll just do an
Yeah.
overlay.
They've been in the limelight, I feel like, for a bit. Mhm.
Yeah, they have. And they had like a show on TLC
Mhm.
and they would say like, if they want to do something, for example, they like barter with each other. Like if you do this for me, I'll do this I would fucking die. Could you imagine?
I just
Oh my
can't
God.
imagine, like, I don't know if I'd be like jealous that my one sister is married. And then I'm also like, when it comes to the intimate part, like, what if, the other Brittany, what if Brittany wanted to like date someone? Do they like, okay, you spend a week here and then spend a week there? Or like, do they all four of them would, I mean, well, yeah, all of them would be like in the same, so many questions.
It's so interesting to me that the one got married, just Abby, because you would think that maybe the person would just kind of like marry them both. Like, there have been polyamorous relationships. Like, why would you not? I mean, I don't know. Just like you're saying, what happens when Brittany finds a man? Now, do the men have to negotiate time? And they're also sharing like the
Yeah.
love section.
Or what if they get pregnant? Like what how would that work too? Like who's would it be it would be both of their kid, you know? So it's
I wonder if they can get pregnant, but they did say in an earlier, like years ago, like on their TV show, that they did plan to be moms.
okay. And now that I think about it, there are other options instead of them actually, carrying the kid to term, but it's just
Yeah.
maybe they have different I would assume that they're not attracted to the same kind of men because I feel like if it was like that, then dating they would probably date the same person. So they maybe have I don't know,
I
different
wonder like if the guy was just like so into the one, like they just hit it off. Because and
Mhm.
then imagine like wouldn't you be jealous?
Or going on dates. Like how do you, like they probably date a lot and then, poor Brittany's just there for every single date and like
One of the people commenting, one of like the main things I've been seeing is people being like, when Abby and her husband have sex, does Brittany put a bag over her head? Like, what do you do? Could you imagine wanting to die and you're just sitting there like watching this date or like listening to them and they're next
no.
to each other's heads?
Honestly, I feel like maybe I don't know, I'm just assuming, but like if that was me, I'd be happy for my sister. I'd be like, this is like her love. I'm like
Yeah.
good for her. Like maybe she sits there and she's just like, yay. Like, like it's like maybe she's a hopeless
Yes.
romantic and she's like cheering them on, even though she's like right there. That's the
But
best
think
case.
about it, even if you feel a type of way, which you're allowed to, like, I'm sure there are times where, like, you're comparing, like, your situation versus your sister's and all of
Mhm.
that. And you can't even have a moment where you just cry it out to yourself.
Yeah, no.
Like, she's right there with her.
Yeah,
I wonder
that is
how
true.
much they can, like, really separate their emotions, but it seems they have, like, two completely individual
Hmm.
personalities.
Yeah,
I
they're for
think it,
sure not the same person.
I think they handle their situation better than you could ever imagine.
Hmm.
And it's like even just the fact that one of them is married is honestly so dope and like good for them. And
I'm salty. I'd be like, you can't get married till I get married, and we're gonna have
like
a wedding on the same day. And
I think it would have made more sense if they were with the same person.
yeah,
The 2 for 1, honey. Like just, you know,
but what if?
what are you
But then
gonna
it's
do?
hard for the guy because what if he's like, well, sometimes I like you better than her, and sometimes I like her better than you.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
It's just weird
I
because
have
it's
so
like
many questions.
one body that you're dealing with. And then he's gonna have to and is he gonna have to like be okay with sharing,
I
you
mean, good
know?
for him. I feel like it's like, think about it. This poor man has like an audience. It's like, if he is intimate with his wife, it's like I would be so awkward. I'd be like, hey.
I know. That's really wild and crazy.
Or maybe since she controls one side, she keeps her stagnant and then most of it's just, I
Just
don't
close
know.
your eyes.
It's just,
If one of them goes to sleep, can the other one stay up?
yes, I think so. I think, yeah, I would think so. I mean, I'd probably find it annoying if I'm knocked out and then I'd be like, wake up. Like I'd be so
Bitch.
mean. Just
Imagine if you and I were conjoined. I'd be like, no, bitch.
it would suck because I feel like we like to go to the gym at different
if
times. So I'd be like, you
yes,
need to go when I go.
if you if you got drunk, would I be drunk? Like I have so
Oh,
many
okay. What
questions.
about working out? Like, since they own different, like, can one side be more fit than the
They
other?
just have to like I'm sure since they whoever goes to the gym, like the other one's in the gym. So
You know what? I'm
they
gonna
have
slide
to
in their
just barter
DMs
their whole
if they want
lives.
to come on the pod.
I wonder like how eating works. Like
Oh, hmm. I mean, they must have different tastes in food too. Like maybe one is like, I'm having pizza with me, and the other one's like, I'm having Chinese food. And
we could just
oh
do
no, they
this
get
forever.
full. How would they get full? Okay, I can go on forever with this topic.
This
Honestly, I
is
think we should.
really so weird, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, like like no hate. It's just like they are really like setting the precedent for however this works for like the next scenario
Hmm. And they make the
after
most of it.
them.
Hmm.
And they're doing a great job with the cards they were dealt. Like
Yes.
they're living as normally as possible. And they are funny. Like they put out something, I think it was like on TikTok, like some form of social media where they
Yeah.
were like you guys still can't keep our names out your mouth, like whatever, like clapping back at everyone being like, only one got married. Like, so more power to you both because damn.
And congratulations. I think they've been married for like 2 years now and just came public. So congratulations,
Yes,
even though you guys already
congratulations to
been.
y'all.
I'm also curious about the honeymoon too. Like, I'm assuming she comes on the honeymoon too. You know what, Brittany girl, you're living it. You don't got to deal with the man problems, and you get the benefits.
Yeah, you go on all the trips too. Like,
Yes. Yep.
just,
She gets the
enjoy
pleasure
the
without
ride.
having to be involved. Okay, okay, this is going
It's
down.
pretty deep.
Oh,
Okay.
moving on. Lots of love there, though.
Moving on. Okay. The reason we are here today, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That's why we had to just do our giveaway. Don't forget, guys, subscribe and
Obsessed.
comment below to be entered. We kicked off our reading of A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. We read chapters 1 through 11.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I'm happy to say this is like the first time in a while since we've been reading books that I like cannot put it down. And I even told you, I was just like, I want to keep reading, but I know I have to wait.
I know. I feel like we're really both finding that we're fantasy girls. Like
Oh,
we're
obsessed.
obsessed with Fourth Wing,
Mm.
and I'm feeling that same feeling again. And it's nice when a book can capture your attention from the beginning
It's
and you're
amazing.
invested. Like sometimes it's just like a slow go and it takes a minute and you're like kind of forcing yourself to get through.
Mhm.
And I was just like, okay, let's keep going. Like I don't want to stop at 11 right
I
now.
already can't wait till we do the episode where we guess characters, if this becomes like a TV show or movie. Like I
Yes.
already am like making up who I want to play who.
Yes. Well, there's definitely been rumors about, I think Hulu had picked up the series. Then there were rumors that it was not going to happen and this and that, but apparently that's untrue. So we'll definitely do an episode where we cast the characters
Oh,
and,
I can't wait.
what we think, because that was so fun what we did in Fourth Wing. And a lot of people aligned with what we had to say. So, I mean,
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. I Googled the bits. I kind of agree with some people and put it out there.
oh, she cheated. She cheated. No, but you took the best of the best that everyone was saying. So let's get into it. Our girly Feyre, she's the main character. She's a human. She lives with her, where we start off is like she lives with her family on one side of like this wall between the mortal world and the fairy world. And they're like crammed in this little house. And there are references like they used to have money and things have changed. She is out hunting when we meet her for her
Mhm.
family, and we come to learn that she's lost her mother, and this is like her way of fulfilling her promise to her mom that she will take care of the family and make sure they're
Mhm.
good. And she's out there like every day, like they're starving, like trying to get food for the family.
Yeah, kudos to her. I mean, the more we kept reading and we learned like she has two sisters, I was just like the nerve of these girls, like not even offering to like go hunting with her. Like I already love her because I feel like she's super strong and I'm already like super proud of her.
No, totally. And you know what's so funny? When we meet the sisters, I wrote down Nesta, her oldest sister, can't be bothered. Just
Yeah,
don't give a fuck.
literally, she's like, feed me and that's it. Oh,
Yeah.
you're back. Like,
So basically, what happened was she's out hunting. They're starving. She hasn't caught anything. There have been these rumors going on about these like giant wolves in the area, and they could possibly be fairies in disguise. And Feyre sees a big wolf and knows the possibility of it being a fairy. And the
mhm.
dynamic is like they kind of fear fairies too. So
Yeah.
they are not, she's not sure what to do, but she's like, I have to feed my family and like I can't go back empty handed. And this is like her motivator. So she does that. She kills the wolf and brings it home to her family. And then that's when we meet, her. So she has Nesta, Elaine, and her dad, who are all there. And like, I was just kind of like, why is like, what? I mean, I guess her dad is not, he has a cane, right? He can't do it, but like no one is helping. She comes home and she's like, can you chop wood? And her sister's like, no.
Easy to me. I was just like I was so frustrated with her because she just put in so much work and then she had to carry this stuff back. Like I just couldn't believe that they were I if I was a sister, I would have started cooking things. I would have been like, whatever you need.
I would have taken a damn nap and been like, you're chopping that damn wood.
Mm. I would have married my sisters off and been like, I'll give you a deer if you take her off my hands.
And they're like bitchy. Like they were making
Yeah.
comments too. Like when they went into the marketplace, when they were talking about marriage and like making little digs at her because like one of the sisters is potentially going to get
Mhm.
proposed to, and it was just like a whole thing.
To a woodcutter, right? I was just
Yes,
like, wait.
and she won't cut the damn wood.
I know.
So that was interesting.
And I also didn't like how I know, like, I feel like her other two sisters were super close, and you can tell their love for each other. Like, I saw her even getting like defensive and trying to like protect each other. And I'm like, why aren't they like that with her? It's
Yeah.
kind of messed up.
And I felt like above all, like Feyre was just there for her family. She's always having her mom in mind and like trying to be like, I'm the one that has to like keep us together and do this for us. So,
Bless her.
I mean,
Hmm.
love her.
Hmm.
While they were home, there was a knock at the door, and it was who we come to learn is Tamlin, who is a fairy. He's a member of the High Fae. So he's not just one of the lesser fairies. And he came basically to get justice for his friend Andrus's death, who was the wolf, who's also High Fae.
Which we learned, yeah.
And essentially, what their treaty states is like a life for a life. So now Feyre is actually indebted to them. She can either literally die, or she can go live in the fairy world of Prithian for the rest of her life.
Yeah. And I thought it was interesting how like her first choice was like, kill me. Like, don't kill me in front of my family, just kill me. And then her dad's like, no, like go. So I feel like there's gonna be more with the father, like of him knowing things. Like now I'm wondering if like her mom was Faye because her name. So I feel like I'm already thinking ahead.
Yeah, I know. It was interesting because I think it's like there's hesitancy because they're so afraid of fairies. They don't really know. They hear these stories. Like if they go over there, she thinks she's just going to die just like being in their lands as it is. She's super paranoid about it. And she's
Mhm.
like, I don't want to be succumbed to this torture and just die anyways.
Yeah.
But I think too, as like a parent, you're like, any chance you have to live, go. Like
Mhm.
I would do the same thing, but I would never sleep again knowing my child is just like in that world and I'm here and I can't do anything about it.
Yeah, and my first thing was I was just like, you know what, this is great. The dad and the sisters are gonna have to learn to fend for themselves. They
Yeah.
need this
Yeah.
wide, they need this
Y'all
opening in their
hoes,
eyes. Yeah, I know. That's what I was
this
like,
is what you
yeah.
get.
You better make that deer last.
Literally. So basically, when she does get into on their side of the wall, she is met with like a whole spread of like food, and it's not as bad as like maybe you would think, but she's very skeptical. She
Mhm.
refuses to eat, she refuses to drink. We know our girl is starving, and they have like this lavish spread in front of them, and there's nothing that she's willing to touch.
And we also learned that they live in a beautiful home. So
Oh my God.
I'm like, damn girl, I think you got the best end of the stick. And
Yeah.
I was there for it.
She was living like they were living in like the dead of winter, and all of a sudden she's like, it's spring over here. I guess their magic does this. Like everything is lavish and stunning, and she's like, this is she's like in a wonderland.
Like too good to be true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there were a couple things that like we learned at that dinner. First of all, I felt like Tamlin was being still kind of protective over her, and he was making like little comments to cover it, but he was like, no, it's like you can eat this stuff. Like there's no incentive to kill you. Like you're too little to like not important enough to be killed. Like I don't care enough.
Hmm.
And then we have Lucian who's there, and he's more like kind of annoyed with her
Annoyed.
and
Yeah.
bitter, and obviously like she is responding, which they almost like couldn't believe. They're like, this is who killed Andrus. So
Hmm.
he was just like, let's kill her. And Tamlin put his foot down and was like,
I
she will
kill
not be
enough.
harmed while she's
Yeah.
here.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that was
I
nice.
actually love him. I feel like he's like kind of like that father figure that she kind of needs.
Yeah.
And I like how I feel like I understand them too. Like they kill so much. They're so protective. They're dealing with their own stuff that like he's just like, I'm not gonna kill someone else, especially seeing how like fragile and tiny she is. Like, I think for
Yeah.
him
What's
he
it
was
worth?
just exactly, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that they were asking her too, like, is there anyone back there that you left behind that you're like in love with?
I'm telling you, I think Faye and I think humans have commingled, and I feel like he's either fallen in love with a human once. I feel like he has a soft spot for them that it may be
Yeah.
more deeper and
Yeah.
or maybe he knew her mother. Like I'm all
Yeah, I
over the place.
know. I think so too. And I think that there's something else, but I think also like there's obviously misconceptions about what they think. Even Alice, who's a lesser fairy, she's not high fae, but she was kind of like giving her little pointers and stuff.
Mhm.
And when Pharaoh was like had some alone time and she like set a trap, she was like, "Girl, don't do this." She's
Yeah,
like, "You're not."
she's resourceful, that's for sure.
Yeah, and she was giving her pointers for
hmm
sure. So
And they even told her she's not stuck there. If she wants to leave, she can leave. But I guarantee you, what's out there is worse than
yes.
where you're at now. So.
So what we learned too is kind of unfortunate about their lands. They've had a sickness called the blight that has been kind of has taken over their lands, weakened magic there. These
hmm
people are stuck in these masks they've been stuck in them for like 50 years. So Tamlin has like a masquerade mask like fused to his face because of
hmm
magic. Lucian has a fox mask on, and this blight, this sickness is they're unable to remove them.
Yeah, and the wolf she killed that was Faye was looking for a cure.
Yes, and that's
hmm
really sad that we learned that like that was his mission.
Yeah, I kind of feel sad that he died because I wish we would have got to know him. I wonder if he was more like Tamlin or Lucian, like when it comes to
Yeah,
humans. I wonder if he would have let her live and gave her the deer. So I was
yeah,
just, but then I also thought it was weird that for how he lives and all the food they do have, why was he hunting a deer? So I have lots of questions.
yeah, that is interesting. And
hmm
then the dynamic between them too, like Tamlin seems to be like the like ruler of the land. Like he has abilities that others don't, even who are
hmm
high fae. Like he can change himself into different shapes or animals and others. But
hmm
Lucian doesn't have abilities like that.
He's just a warrior,
Yeah,
which kind of makes I feel like him and Fair
Feyre.
which make him and Farah kind of like bonding because she's kind of a hunter and he's into that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
I'm already shipping to see if they like fall in love.
yeah. For me, I like wonder if her love story is in these beginning chapters. I know there's going to be some sort of person for her in this world. She's going to fall in
hmm
love with it. She's going to be on this, like, I know this. Like,
Protective of
she's going to
them.
be on this, like, end up like loving, they're being protective of this land. Like, maybe at some point her family's going to want to like pull her out of it. And she's like, you don't understand, they're good. Like, whatever it is, she's
Yeah.
going to have a love interest. I don't know if we met him yet, though.
And I do like that Sarah doesn't bring see one thing with like Fourth Wing is I felt like they brought too many characters in way too quick that it lost me.
Yes.
Whereas with this, I feel like it's pacing. Like, I can keep up. Yes, I feel like the monsters out there, I'm like, which one was that? That was a
Yeah.
cookie or a so those throw me off, but I feel like the characters, I'm liking that I'm getting to like learn them.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I feel the same way because you really are just like develop and even with Fourth Wing, like there were so many different parts of
Mhm.
the area that they were in, and you were like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this land is, where this is, what that creature is. It was a lot at once, and then you picked it up. But
Mhm.
definitely here is like a better pace, and you still like get to know a lot. Like even in these 11 chapters, like we have a good foundation. So
Mhm.
I agree. I definitely like the pace of this and the introduction of different characters and lands.
Mhm.
And like what you were saying with the different elements that are coming in to the land, that's really because the magic has been weakened and because of the sickness. Like when she was
Mhm.
out with Lucian and he was like getting paranoid about things that Pharaoh was saying, he was like, oh no, she's going to hear you. And Pharaoh's like, what is he talking about? And
Mhm.
then all of a sudden this voice like overcomes her and it's like, look at me, look at me. And he had warned her, like, whatever you do, he could tell like this being was coming. And she was like, what? And then she starts hearing this. And we come to learn that that's called the bog. And it's not really tangible until you look at it.
Yes.
So it can't kill or hunt you
From
until
you.
you actually
Mhm.
look and then make it into something that can.
It's scary. I'm just like this poor girl. Like, first she's dealing with these fae that she doesn't know if she can trust, and then she has to deal with this outside stuff. I'm like, girl, don't leave that place. Stay there.
Don't look at anything, close your eyes,
Oh my
literally.
God. Yeah.
And then Tamlin is the only one who can hunt the bog.
Yeah,
So
he's
he
super
spends his
strong.
nights out hunting.
Yep. And I think that kind of shows he like kind of cares for his people,
Yeah.
that, or even, I don't know if it's just for her, but he
Yeah.
doesn't want these things around his border, near his house, none of that, which I think is like he's super telling on the character he is.
Yeah. And she almost was like, kind of cared a little bit. Like one night she was up in her room
Waiting for
looking
him.
out. Like
Yeah.
she's like, he didn't come back from the hunt yet. Like, where is
Hmm.
he?
Hmm.
And that's when she saw what she thought was her dad.
Hmm.
And she's like convinced herself and she's like, oh, he's come to get me.
Which I feel bad because I feel like knowing her family, that's they don't seem that kind. I think
You're
they,
like, they
especially
ain't
if they're
gonna
being,
come.
yeah, especially if they're being taken care of, they're just like, oh, she did her part, and like and it's sad to say, but I think where she is with these fae, these people will generally love her for her and not what she can do, which is like nothing for them. But
Yeah.
I think she's gonna be the cure.
Ooh, girl. You always got these hot and saucy
I think she's
predictions.
gonna reproduce, and either the baby's gonna
Oof,
be like something that I don't know.
Renesmee.
Twilight up in here.
I'm literally dead. For real though, no, that's a major point and interesting. I think she's going to be pivotal to like helping solve this.
100%.
So
I
we're
think
already
she's the bigger
introduced to this
picture.
problem
Mhm,
that they have here in their land.
mhm.
And so getting back to like when she sees her dad, she like starts going out towards him and she's like, okay, they're going to like, he's going to save me. And then Tamlin is like, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, you're going to get yourself killed. Like, stay in
Yeah.
your damn room. And she goes out there and he was like, what, that's like, no one's there. Then it like turns into her sisters. And it's something called the puka, which I don't know why that sounds sexual to me.
I feel
Like
like all the names are cute.
like a
The
kuka, a
dog.
puka, like your pee-pee. Like it sounds like your little,
I'm thinking like peekaboo, like
like,
puka, like
okay.
peekaboo.
I was
Jesus,
thinking
Lena.
vagina.
What?
It sounds like it, like,
No, it sounds
your
like
puka.
peekaboo, like I'm coming up as someone you may know, but I'm not
What
really
did
them.
you call your puka when you were a little kid?
I call it the kitty, the little
When you
kitty.
were a baby, like a
Yeah,
kid, what
the
did you call
kitty.
it? Athena, I know you're listening, girl. Pish. We used
No,
to
you
call
guys
it
did not.
a pish.
What?
It wasn't our choice.
It's a
It was
kitty.
our family did this to us.
Make sure you clean your kitty. I don't know. A
You
kitty.
no, they didn't. That's way too sexual. Your mom did not say kitty. Don't talk to me if your mom said kitty. She didn't.
No, I don't know what
Your
you
little
call it.
fishy.
Your woman part. You're like
Pee-pee.
woman
She
part.
didn't say that either. It's okay.
No,
If you
I don't
can't
know.
relate, don't
I don't
worry
think me
about
and
it.
mom talked about vajays much.
It's fine. We can smooth
Only came
over
in
this.
handy like when it was like woman when it going into womanhood and you need help putting in a tampon. Then
Right.
that's kind of
Then yes. Okay. Well, that's fine.
I'm dead.
That's totally fine.
Oh god.
Back to the puka.
Back to the puka that is not a vagina.
It's not at all. So this is a mirage that can basically, it like lures you in by like telling you things
Desires
showing you things that you would like be, want to believe or
and
be
desire,
compelled to
yeah.
go toward.
Hmm.
So yeah, it feeds off of that,
Which I
and
think is
he
great
saves
because
her.
it shows that she has a desire for her dad to be a dad and be there for her family to love her so I feel like that was very telling.
Yeah, I know, and it was sad, but at least she's like now she knows to like be on alert for all these things that are happening.
Hmm.
And the one thing that we do learn while she's there, she almost feels a sort of sense of peace in a certain way where she feels free to know that like at least by being here, she's fulfilling her promise to her mom because what they are saying is now that she's gone, which is a whole other part of like, they must not be as bad as we think because what they've consistently stood by is like her family is now that they've taken like the hunter and provider out of the family, they made sure and they used the exact terminology of saying that your family is fed and comfortable.
And they're actually in a better place than when you were taking care of them.
Yeah.
They also mentioned, and I feel like too, like my thing with the Fae is like, why do humans not like them? So I'm wondering if the
It,
humans are the bad ones, and the Fae are actually like, you guys just don't like us
the
because you feel
fairies.
like you feel like we're inferior, but I don't know. It's just
Well, they don't know. Like, they don't know who the fairies are. They're not really like these are enemies. They live on another side of the wall, like in another world. They're dangerous. They could
Mhm.
kill humans
Mhm.
and they fear them. It's like this deep rooted history. So, and I'm sure we're going to learn more. Like, it's a
Yeah, there
little
has to be
premature for us to
more.
fully understand
Hmm.
the history right now. And I know a lot of people are probably like, have read this and they know what the hell is up, but we don't know yet.
Right.
And obviously, I mean, from the beginning, we learned that they fear fairies. So it could
Hmm.
just be like just lack of really knowing, or maybe there are some that aren't, there's obviously got to be some danger.
Yeah, and I wonder what brought about the treaty because obviously they've encountered each other. They had this treaty where, like, an eye for an eye or,
Yeah.
like, death for death. So I feel like I can't wait to like unravel that and learn more. And I'm wondering if maybe the sickness came from them commingling, or maybe the sickness will go away if they come together as one. Like, I feel like they're going to be kind of helpful when it comes to the cure.
Yeah, I definitely think her being there is going to be pivotal to, she's going to help work
Hmm.
to find something to
Yeah.
the land for sure.
I want to get into predictions, but I want you to finish wrapping up how it ends.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's really what it is. It ends off with her having a nightmare about
Hmm.
killing a wolf. And I guess
Hmm.
she's kind of like feeling guilt when she's seeing, like, when you can put almost like a face to like who he belonged to and the types of people that he was surrounded by and who he may have been and what he was doing with
Hmm.
his life. It's sad. So, it's haunting
Yeah.
her in her sleep.
Okay, predictions. Can I go
Go ahead.
first?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have like two or three, but let's go. So the first one. So I remember when he came to her home and he like she ended up going back with him and he knew her name already. He knew it was Farah because he heard the
Yeah.
sister say it. So I think when he heard her name and Faye was like in there, her name was Farah, he either knows of her, knows that she may be half Faye,
Mm.
and I think that kind of stopped him from killing her. So I think she's going to be super important and kind of like half fairy in a way. Or I think, she's going to grow to like them and bond with them. And because of this sickness, either Tamlin or Lucian's going to get sick. Like it's going to like kind of gradually like kind of like escalate to one of them. And they were super, and she's going to want to help find a cure because she cares about them now. So I
Yeah.
think that's also going to be something. Obviously, I think she's going to fall in love, just not sure with who. Obviously, it won't be Tamlin, but I think it will be Lucian if it is someone in the beginning. And then also,
Why
I do
obviously it won't be Tamlin.
because I feel like he cares about her where he has been in love with a human, and I think he either loves someone that's human, or I think he already has someone. I feel like I feel like how empathetic he is. Someone made him soft like that,
Yeah.
you know. Whereas like Lucian, I
There's
feel like maybe
something
hasn't
deeper
been
to
loved.
his
There's
story.
someone deeper to his story where it's either human related or he has a daughter, like something that makes him way more empathetic than Lucian in the beginning.
Okay.
And those are my predictions before I get more down a rabbit hole.
Okay. My prediction is that, yes, I agree that he may have like known who she was before he went there. And there's definitely a deeper reason to why she's there. But I think that her mother is not dead.
Ooh, her mom's a fairy, right? I'm
And she's
telling you.
she's in that she's there. She's in Prithian. Like, I think that
Really?
she's gonna find her mom over there. And she was
Hmm.
brought over, like they schemed, like they knew
And that's why she
who they
asked
were getting.
Farah to kind of protect the other ones because she knew she was special. She knew she could hunt. She knew she'd be the backbone because she's not fully human. There has to be something. And
Yes.
she's not the oldest, is she?
She's not the oldest. Nesta's the
She's
oldest.
not the
And
oldest.
I
So
was
maybe she's an affair baby. Maybe her dad's not really her dad.
maybe, or maybe they also, like, even if her mom aside, maybe they've identified her based off of like her abilities as somebody they want with them. So
Oh, I'm
hmm.
so excited to see how this unfolds, honestly.
Yes, I cannot wait. So for next week, we are reading chapters 12 through 22, and we will meet you back here on Wednesday, and we'll see if any of our predictions came true yet, and let us know how you're liking it.
And for everyone that's in the giveaway, good luck, good luck, good luck. Super excited to hear your thoughts if you're following along and reading, what you think so far. So excited.
Yes, good luck, everyone. We can't wait to announce our winner. We'll let you know on Monday. So you have until April 8th to enter by subscribing and commenting in this episode below on YouTube. Amanda, do you want to plug in our socials, Queen?
Yes. If you are watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe. I would even love you even more if you put little notification reminders for when we have a new
Yeah.
episode. And then also please follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads at Book Please Podcast. We're also on Facebook. We recently made a page. Make sure to like and follow. And then we're also on Twitter/X at Book Please Pod. Thanks, everyone.